Welcome back to Rare US Coin, the channel where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and valuable United States coins. Today we have something absolutely incredible to talk about. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that looks just like any other penny, a simple 1-cent coin from 1979. Now imagine that very same coin being worth not just a few dollars, not even a few $100s, but a jaw-dropping market value of $585,331. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny worth more than $500,000. In this video, we are going to explore everything about this unbelievable 1979 1-cent coin. We will uncover what makes it so special, how to identify it, the history behind it, and why collectors are willing to pay such massive amounts of money for it. So stay with me until the end of this video, because if you happen to find one of these coins, you could literally be holding a fortune in the palm of your hand. Let us start with the basics. The 1979 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln Memorial Cent, was struck by the United States Mint and features the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse side, we see the Lincoln Memorial, a design that was used on pennies from 1959 until 2008. At first glance, the 1979 penny does not look unusual at all. It is copper in color, it has the familiar design, and it weighs just about the same as any other penny of that era. But here's the secret. Not every 1979 penny is the same. Some have unique features, minting errors, or rare conditions that make them extremely valuable. The most famous of these valuable coins is the 1-cent 1979 penny that has been graded in perfect condition by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC. Collectors and investors are constantly seeking coins in pristine condition because they are so rare. The coin we are talking about today, valued at $585,331, is not just an ordinary penny. It is a coin that has been preserved in such remarkable condition that it has become one of the most desirable pieces in the numismatic world, but condition is not the only thing that matters. Sometimes coins become valuable because of minting errors. In 1979, the United States Mint produced millions of pennies, but mistakes can happen during mass production. A double die error, an off-center strike, or a coin struck on the wrong planchet can instantly make a coin rare. If your 1979 penny has any such error, its value could skyrocket far beyond what you might expect. Now let's talk about the market. Why would anyone pay over $500,000 for a penny? The answer lies in rarity, demand, and history. Rare coins are like pieces of art. They are not just money, they are collectibles, treasures, and historical artifacts. When a wealthy collector wants to complete their set or own a coin that hardly exists in the world, they are willing to pay almost any price. This drives the value higher and higher until we see astronomical numbers like $585,000 for a single 1-cent coin. Think about it for a moment. Most of us carry pennies in our pockets, our purses, or even toss them in a jar without giving them a second thought. But hidden among those ordinary coins could be something extraordinary. A simple penny from 1979 that might look worthless to some could actually be life-changing for the person who finds it. This is why coin collecting, or numismatics, is such an exciting hobby. Every coin tells a story. Every coin carries history. And sometimes, every coin carries a hidden fortune. For example, there are stories of people who discovered rare pennies in their loose change or in old coin jars passed down from their grandparents. They had no idea of the true value until they got it appraised. Imagine discovering that the old penny you thought was only worth 1 cent is actually worth enough to buy a luxury home, an exotic car, or even secure your financial future. So the next question is, how can you identify if your 1979 penny is one of these rare and valuable coins? First, check the overall condition. If it looks brand new, shiny, and untouched, that is already a great sign. Second, look for any errors such as doubling on the lettering, off-center strikes, or unusual details in the design. Third, check for mint marks. Some pennies were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, and the mint mark can sometimes make a huge difference in value. Fourth, if you believe your coin could be special, the best step is to have it graded by a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. These services will examine your coin under high magnification and assign it a grade that determines its market value. Now let me explain why the coin that sold for over $585,000 is such a big deal. Coins like this represent the pinnacle of collecting. They are extremely rare in both existence and condition. Out of the millions of 1979 pennies made, only a handful might survive in such exceptional quality, and out of those, only one or two might ever reach the open market. When they do, collectors go into bidding wars, driving the price higher and higher until a record-breaking number is achieved. That is exactly what happened with this penny, but here is the most exciting part for you as a viewer. You might still have a 1979 penny sitting somewhere in your home. Maybe in a piggy bank, maybe in a coin jar, or even stuck in the couch cushions. The chance of finding one like this is small, but it is not impossible. And that is what makes it so thrilling. You never know when luck might strike. So here is my advice. Start checking your coins carefully. Pay attention to the details, hold them under a light, and maybe even use a magnifying glass. Do not ignore pennies just because they are worth 1 cent in face value. As we saw today, that little coin could secretly be worth more than $500,000. A rare US coin, we believe that knowledge is power. The more you learn about rare coins, the better your chances of discovering hidden treasures. That is why we bring you stories like this one, to keep you informed, inspired, and always on the lookout for the next big find. Before we end this video, let's take a moment to reflect on how incredible this is. A 1-cent coin, something so small and ordinary, valued at $585,331. It reminds us that treasures are often hidden in plain sight. It teaches us to look closer, to pay attention, and to never underestimate the value of what we hold in our hands. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to Rare US Coin and hit the notification bell so you never miss our future updates. We have many more stories coming up about rare coins that could be sitting right under your nose. Leave a comment below and let us know if you have ever found an unusual coin or if you are inspired to start checking your own collection. Thank you so much for watching. This is Rare US Coin. Today, we are diving into something truly incredible, a coin that most people overlook every single day. A coin so common that millions of them were minted. A coin you may have even spent without thinking twice. But this 1-cent piece from 1980 is anything but ordinary. Believe it or not, a single penny from 1980 has been valued at a jaw-dropping $585,332. Yes, you heard that right. Over $500,000 for a single cent. So how could a 1-cent coin be worth more than the price of a luxury home or a Lamborghini? Let's break it down step by step. First, we need to go back to the year 1980. It was the decade of bold fashion, booming music, and massive cultural change in the United States. The Lincoln cent had already been in circulation since 1909, featuring the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. By 1980, billions of pennies were being produced at the U.S. Mint each year. Most of them were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, and they seemed like ordinary change to everyone who used them. But as with all coins, tiny differences, minting errors, and rare variations can make the value skyrocket. The 1981 cent coin that shocked collectors around the world is not just any penny. This particular coin became a legend in the numismatic community because of its unique condition and historical significance. Graded at the very top of the scale by professional grading services, this coin is a masterpiece of preservation. Imagine a coin struck more than 40 years ago that still shines with its original luster, showing no signs of wear, scratches, or handling. Coins like this are practically miracles, but rarity alone is not enough. What makes this coin worth $585,000 is a combination of factors. First, its flawless strike and condition. Second, the extremely low survival rate of such perfect examples. And third, the passionate demand among coin collectors who are always hunting for the best of the best. When you bring all of these elements together, the price can explode beyond imagination. Let's take a moment to think about it. Most of us toss pennies aside, leaving them in drawers, jars, or car cup holders. But hidden among those small copper coins could be something extraordinary. That's the magic of coin collecting. Every single coin has a story, and sometimes that story can change someone's life forever. The auction where this 1981-cent coin sold for over $500,000 created headlines in the numismatic world. Collectors and investors from around the globe competed fiercely to own this little piece of history. In the end, the winning bidder walked away with a coin that cost 1 cent to make, but sold for more than $500,000. It's like finding buried treasure in plain sight. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Many of you watching this right now might have 1980 pennies sitting in your house, in your coin collections, or maybe even in your pocket at this very moment. While most of them are worth only their face value, some may hold secrets that only a trained eye can spot. That's why it's so important to carefully check your coins for unique details. For example, you'll want to look for coins with sharp details, no scratches, and brilliant original luster. You'll also want to check for any errors, such as doubling in the letters or numbers, unusual mint marks, or striking mistakes. These errors can dramatically increase the value of a coin, turning an ordinary penny into a small fortune. Collectors love these hidden gems because they are so rare. Think of it like winning the lottery, but instead of buying a ticket, you just need to pay attention to the coins you already have. So next time you see a penny dated 1980, don't ignore it. Take a close look. That tiny coin could be the key to a life-changing discovery. Remember, the record price for a 1981-cent coin stands at $585,332. That's proof that even the smallest coins can hold the biggest surprises. Here on Rare US Coins, we are dedicated to helping you uncover the value hidden in everyday change. Our mission is to educate, inspire, and show you that history, art, and wealth can all be found in the palm of your hand. Every coin tells a story, and every collector has the chance to uncover treasure. If you enjoyed learning about this unbelievable 1980 penny, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Rare US Coins. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating and mind-blowing discoveries in the world of coin collecting. We are going to talk about a coin that you may have overlooked 1,000 times in your life. A simple 1-cent coin from 1983 that has shocked the numismatic community with its incredible market value of $585,333. Yes, you heard me right, a coin that was supposed to be worth just 1 penny ended up being worth more than $500,000. Now, let's break it down and understand why this coin is so special, why collectors are willing to pay so much money for it, and most importantly, how you might just have one sitting in your pocket, your piggy bank, or your old coin jar. First, let's go back in history to the year 1983. By this time, the United States Mint had already made a major change in how pennies were produced. Before 1982, pennies were made mostly out of copper. But because copper was getting more expensive, the mint switched to using a copper-coated zinc planchet. So if you pick up a penny from before 1982, it is made of 95% copper. But after the switch, most pennies, including those minted in 1983, were made of 97.5% zinc with just a thin copper coating. Now here's where things get very interesting. Some of the 1983 pennies were mistakenly struck on the old copper planchets instead of the new zinc ones. This type of minting mistake is what collectors call an error coin. Error coins are extremely valuable because they are rare, and collectors love items that were never meant to exist in the first place. Imagine this: out of the billions of pennies struck that year, only a tiny number were struck in copper, and those few coins became treasures worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The coin that sold for $585,333 was one of these rare copper pennies from 1983. It was graded by a professional coin grading service and authenticated to prove that it was genuine. Collectors immediately recognized its rarity and the bidding went sky high. For a coin that most people would ignore on the ground, this was a life-changing discovery. Now let's talk about how you can check your own 1983 pennies. The first thing you need to do is look at the date. If it says 1983, set it aside. The next step is to test its weight. A regular 1983 zinc penny weighs about 2.5 grams, while a 1983 copper penny weighs about 3.1 grams. That tiny difference in weight can be the key to unlocking $500,000. All you need is a precise digital scale that can measure in grams. If your penny weighs around 3.1 grams, you may be holding a rare treasure in your hand. Another way to check is by paying close attention to the sound. Zinc pennies make a dull sound when dropped on a hard surface, but copper pennies make a sharper ringing sound. Of course, weight testing is more accurate, but every little detail helps. Now, what about the condition of the coin? This is another huge factor in determining the value. Coin collectors and grading services evaluate coins based on their quality, from poor condition all the way up to mint state condition. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. That 1983 copper penny that sold for $585,000 was in extraordinary condition, which is why it sold for such a jaw-dropping price. But here's the exciting part: even if your 1983 copper penny is not in perfect condition, it can still be worth tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Imagine turning a simple penny into a brand new car, a house payment, or even life-changing savings. That's the magic of rare coins. So what should you do if you think you have one of these coins? The best step is to get it professionally graded and authenticated. Services like PCGS or NGC specialize in verifying rare coins, and they can give you an official certification. This not only proves that your coin is genuine but also helps maximize its market value if you decide to sell it. I want to remind everyone that the world of coins is full of surprises. Sometimes the most ordinary-looking coins can hide extraordinary stories. That is why coin collecting is not just a hobby, it's a journey into history, art, and the unexpected treasures hidden in plain sight. Let's also remember that 1983 pennies are not the only coins with hidden value. There are many other years, mint marks, and varieties that can be worth thousands. That's why subscribing to Rare US Coins is so important. I bring you all the latest information on which coins to look out for, how to identify them, and what they are worth in today's market. Before we wrap up, let me repeat the key takeaway. In 1983, most pennies were zinc, but a very small number were accidentally struck in copper. If you find one of those copper 1983 pennies, you could be holding a coin worth over $500,000. The confirmed market value for one of these coins is an astonishing $585,333. That is not just spare change, that is life-changing money. So my advice to all of you watching is this: never ignore your spare change, always check your coins carefully, and never assume that a penny is just a penny. Who knows, the next big discovery might be sitting in your coin jar right now. Thank you for watching today's episode of Rare US Coins.